Oh, brother.
Like I said, man, today is gonna be lighthearted.
Oh, I'm with it. I'm with it. Oh shoot, let me stop this recording.
Oh yeah, facts.
Um,
Okay, it looks like we are live. So
oh, we are. There
yeah,
we go.
yeah, it's just one of
Excellent.
those things, man. Something like StreamYard need to get a bell or something like, man.
Yeah. Well,
It's
ding
just be
ding.
live
You
and
on?
don't even be knowing. They'd be like, all right, well, we've been watching you talk for the last few minutes.
What is going down, everybody?
Hello, Governor.
Hey, man. We'll be back on this early Saturday, Friday morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Friday
man.
morning, man. So here's the thing. We haven't done an AMA in quite a while. And it's just an AMA, for anybody who's unaware, is a Ask Me Anything. We have watched so many different properties over the while, and some that warranted a live stream. We had to talk about them, some not so much. um, for anybody who is, again, shameless plug, anybody who is a member of Centel's Patreon,
Oh,
anybody who is in the Discord, and you may know if you're in my Patreon as well, uh, we are on season 7. So you should have caught the season 7, episode 1 has dropped on our reaction on Centel's live stream, and my deep dive will be dropping very soon. But we're in season 7 of Doctor Who. We are in season 4 of Sherlock,
yep.
and we have many other things coming along the way. So we just this week in America anyway has been crazy as hell. So we just wanted to take a minute and talk to you, our fans, our audience, our people, our tribe, and just have kind of a lighthearted conversation. This is nothing to us. We do this damn near every day. Every day. So yeah, so we just wanted to jump in here and say hello, what's up to y'all. So
first of all, how's everybody feeling? I'm curious too. How's everybody doing? It's for some people, it's some people it's a win-win-win. Other folks are contemplating what the future is going to look like. I'm just curious, what's the sentiment of this chat? So kind of like, what we dealing with?
I don't know why he wants me to talk about the Dr. Sherlock and cheeks. Like, I don't always talk about cheeks. Like
cheek lock. Cheek lock. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, cheek lock.
Let me see. What was one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about? We've been which one do you want to get started first? I know we got a really large group of folks that are diehard Whovians. We just got done kickstarting season 7. We could talk maybe briefly about, we had a small conversation about Chuti possibly no longer being a part of the Whoverse. I'm wondering what people's sentiment are regarding that. Are you happy? You a little disappointed in that?
Neither. Because the one thing, the beauty of Doctor Who is that it keeps it moving. Yeah. I mean, that's just like saying you were, that would be just like saying that you're upset that Christopher Eccleston the 9th Doctor was only 1 season. It is what it is, you know, and I understand how people get attached to certain doctors and be like, no, that's my doctor. I really enjoyed the 10th Doctor. David Tennant, I thought, was fantastic. I think he's a fantastic actor. But at the end of the day, I do realize this is a show that's here for our enjoyment. And I have really, really enjoyed Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor. I am sad, I guess, in a way, to hear about Chuti leaving.
Yeah.
But the new version of Doctor Who on Disney has been a little bit kind of up and down. They gave us shortened seasons, so we only got 8 or 9 episodes, including the Christmas episode, to really not even really get to know him. And because of that, I think the one thing that they've really been missing to give us more connection to Chuti as a doctor is those lighthearted filler episodes. We haven't got any of those. Like, it was always kind of serious. And the episodes, because he was filming something else, business decisions, he was filming some other stuff. So there were several episodes where it was kind of light on him. I don't think we really got to know him the way that we should have. Um, and hopefully we'll get more and have an appreciation for him before his time is up in this next season. Because it's how it is. Like from what I understand, while you and I have had all this appreciation for Martha, from what I understand, during her time, it was not that way.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Yeah, people felt some kind of way, and some for obvious reasons. Because people feel some kind of way when people don't look or think the way they do.
Yeah,
there's gonna be some pushback.
Yeah, they don't like it when people have them built-in tans.
It just is what it is. Well, okay, so let's kind of blend the worlds a little bit. As far as our country is concerned, regardless of how you feel about the outcome, the numbers speak for themselves. The country has said this is the direction we want to go, and a lot of that, and a big portion of the reason of that is because people want things to go back to the way they were. When there wasn't as much necessarily diversity, wasn't as much equity, things were kind of like catered towards one group of people, and maybe we're kind of seeing that bleed into art as well. Do you think? Let me, like I said, I'm blending the worlds together a little bit. Art is going to be affected as a result of what's going on in the changing of the sentiment of the country as a whole.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We've already seen it. Because when you have a leadership that does not agree with the art that you're putting out, censorship is going to be at play. Do you think that this time around, even that, say, SNL is going to have the free reign to just, make fun of dude and do what the hell they want to do? No.
I don't know. Maybe not. If I'm a betting man, probably not. It's probably going to have to change. Or maybe we just got done watching. What's funny, we just got done watching a movie, V for Vendetta, which actually came out on Election Day. And there is an actual a scene in that show where somebody that does sketch comedy, per se, a talk show, did a bit where they were making fun of the chancellor. I think it was the chancellor at the time. And then, those bagmen showed up the next day.
The black vans showed up. Yeah.
I mean, art reflects life. Life reflects art. That's why I'm just curious as to what these shows look like. Is what happened to Chuti gonna be, maybe a standard for other shows? It's not 100%. It's just rumors right now regarding Chuti maybe not being brought back.
It is. Right. And the thing where they based all that on was that so far, I think season 2 was already done. I think season 2 has already been shot and filmed. And he was on the Graham Norton show in the UK saying that that script writing that they were working on season 3. And then when the show actually aired, they cut that part out. And they said, the political, the PC version was that sorry, I just got a message. Yeah. So the PC version was that they didn't cut that out on purpose. But I think the reality of it is, and this is pure brass tacks, this is pure just business, that they're not really sure which way to go. Like, you're not going to keep a man in there, no matter how wonderful we may think Chuti is. His time just may be up.
Okay.
And I think about it like this. The Star Wars, I'm a Star Wars stan. That is my stuff. And Star Wars has been on, it's been circling the drain here for a couple of years, at least as far as cinematically. And now they're talking about, hey, we need to go back to the farm boy. We need to go back to Luke Skywalker, the Skywalker saga, just because the people who have been running the thing have given us stuff that nobody wants, which is also interesting. It's like, we throw out all these things like, hey, give us this. We're interested in seeing this. And they're like, no, we're going to do this. And we're going to do it in a way where, like, who asked for that. Nobody wants to see that. Like, so I don't know. I just think that more than likely season 2 will be the end for Chuti. And it'll be a wonderful 2 seasons. And it's sad that it's not as much his choice as it was Christopher Eccleston's choice, but for whatever reason, it might be the best decision if we want to keep it on TV.
Yeah,
because that's the other thing. A show. I mean, we've already had the period where they went off TV in the 80s, 90s, or whatever, right. And I think they did the wilderness period. I think they did the Doctor Who movie in like 96 and didn't come back on to 2005. I don't want that. I'm vintage. I'm not trying to wait 10 years for it to come back on.
I think as far as the art is concerned, I think the sentiment changing and maybe things possibly going back to the good old days could be a good thing in terms of forcing other creators, other cultures to create stories and have people that want to see a different story being told, it getting more attention. I know we've said a million times before, like South Korean cinema is hitting the ground running. Like it is that if you're not watching South Korean cinema, like what are you doing? Like there's some really dope shows out there. Bollywood has always been in effect. Nollywood is on the rise. So if doors could potentially be closing from an artistic standpoint here in traditional Hollywood, it's going to open up other doors in other places and then have the art grow in a different space. I don't think the art's going to stop, regardless of how much people want to go back and only see one type of thing. I think it's just going to be forced and pushed into other areas now that projects can be made cheaper. Distribution is a lot easier to do due to the internet. It's just going to open up a whole new era and maybe even push, a newer renaissance and maybe even bring a breath of fresh air from overseas that we might not have been able to express here in the States, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think even though you talk about big cinema, and I think that Hollywood is still always going to be Hollywood, and it's going to be Hollywood, and there's going to be people who have enough money to make the projects that they want to make, regardless of what other people, the government or whatever says, to an extent. You're right. South Korea, Nigeria, India have been killing it as far as their Hollywood contributions. But I think the real maverick, what's going to happen is going to be the internet. And I think there are going to be more creators who just go underground and start doing more guerrilla filming and stuff like this and making the stories that they want to see. Or like I'll take someone, for instance, that popped up out of the pandemic and basically has his own Young and the Restless happening, which is Country Wayne.
Country Wayne
is a comedian, right. And whether you think he's funny or not, he has kind of molded his comedy and his doing skits. The same thing that a lot of young kids got started with Vine and moved into these things. So he got where he's doing skits, but now he's making them serialized, where he's telling all these stories. It is a soap opera. The same one that, Young and the Restless, General Hospital, One Life to Live, all that stuff that, your grandmama and them used to watch or whatever. Country Wayne is doing that, but on the internet. And he is killing it on, it on YouTube and Instagram. And he's making damn near $1 million a month. You know what I'm saying? With the number of people that are tuning in to watch his serialized soap opera, and he's doing it the way he wants to. Hell, did you know that he's so good at what he does, and to give you that feeling, he don't even use he's not using red cameras and all this old type of Hollywood equipment. He's using cell phones, like he's using these iPhones and Samsungs to film his content. And I'm sure in post he might have better stuff and equipment and stuff like that, but I mean he is doing most of filming in the moment, wherever in the city of Atlanta, mostly with cell phones. That's how you keep costs down, keep production down. It's wonderful. And I think more people are going to move to that sort of model to tell the stories they want to tell.
There was a question that was brought in here from Aaliyah Knight. Thank you so much, Aaliyah, for dropping this comment. Said, I think it'll grow in other spaces, but it'll be harder to access. How do you feel about that? That's in regards to the art maybe flourishing and growing in other spaces outside of traditional Hollywood outlets. We talked about South Korea, Bollywood, Nollywood. Do you think that's going to be a factor that's going to be harder to access, which could maybe even limit and stun its growth?
That's a yes or no question.
Okay.
I think it will not be harder to access. I think the thing is, we won't have knowledge of it. You know, if you're putting your stuff up on Instagram, you're putting it up on YouTube, it'll be out there and billions of people all over the world have access to it. However, the one thing that Hollywood has over any of this is marketing. You know, you pay, and like, it's just like you can have a little nothing company. You pay $5 million or however much it costs to have one 30-second Super Bowl commercial, and you will go from a nothing company to a, billion-dollar company overnight, just because of the amount of people that have seen your commercial and the marketing worked. And I think when it comes to that, you're going to have to be extremely smart, extremely forward-thinking in the marketing area to make your stuff stand out from the crowd on social media, where everyone has access. So it's almost to the point too now where everything is homogenous. Everything looks the same, feels the same, sounds the same. So how do you stand out?
See,
and I'll tell you one perfect example of how you stand out in an industry that's damn near dead, and he's making it pop in a way that no one's thinking. Tyler, the Creator, just dropped an album.
Yeah, it's pretty good too, man.
Oh, the album is phenomenal.
Yeah, Chromacopia, I think is the name of it. Yeah.
His marketing campaign behind it and the visuals and everything that he's doing are next level.
Yeah.
And it's something, but that's how you stand out.
Let me to do something real quick for Aaliyah's question. I think it all depends where the money goes. If there's money that could be made, then it can survive. So kind of to piggyback what you're saying as well, Rakai, it's all about how it gets marketing. If something overseas pops, like a perfect example of Squid Game. Squid Game is one of the most watched projects on Netflix. South Korean content, people are clamoring. The globe is clamoring to see season 2. So regardless of how anybody feels about South Korean content here in the States, it is must-see TV. And I think that is going to win overall. I wanted to switch the conversation over to Cairo Sink, who said, first off, thank you, Cairo, for leaving the question. Said, hey, guys, love the channel. I've asked this question in the comments before, but what are the main differences you both see between the older seasons of Doctor Who so far and the Chuti seasons? Before you answer that question, I just wanted to announce to everybody that's in the chat. This is a bit of a free-for-all, just so you all know. We will try to knock down as many questions as we can in sequence, but if you absolutely just must get your question out and be like, I can't wait for you to go down this list of answering these questions, then that is what the super chat is for. I'm not telling you to spend your money, but I am saying if you want it seen immediately, that is the best way to go about it. And also, before we answer this question as well, this is also a grand gesture for all of you to head over to Noop's channel, head over to Noop from DeVille to hit that subscription button. Because, we over here showing love and showing some support. We out here early on this Friday morning trying to talk to the people. You can at least head on over there and hit that subscription button. Rakai, how are you feeling about Cairo Sink's question?
And hold on, I'm going to answer that, but because we're doing a little bit different thing today, I also want to bring in a couple people that are in that are waiting to come on stage with us. Now, you guys don't know that we actually transitioned. We came right over here. Again, another shameless plug. If you need to be not only a member of my YouTube, you need to subscribe, or my Patreon, but you need to be a member, a patron of Centel's Patreon, because there you get access. We just came out of the Discord. The links are in the description. We just came out of the Discord watching something, and we did a live watch where people are watching with us as we react live. So that's a good thing. And some of our good friends, our good people from there, are here to join us on the stage. So I'm going to bring the stage Frank and Sherelle and our local alien.
All
So,
right.
what's going on? Local alien. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Sherelle. Hi, Frank.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello, everybody. Hello.
So the question is, what do we see the differences between the older season of Doctor Who and the Chuti season? I think I said a little while ago that I think the filler episodes where we get to um where everything wasn't as serious and we get to see like the lighter side and we get to know the Doctor a little bit better. I don't think that we ever got that. Everything was just off to the races, especially those episodes. I mean, it's something to say that one of the best episodes of season 14,
Mhm.
season 14, didn't even have Chuti in it. The Doctor wasn't even in 73 yards.
Yeah.
That was a very Ruby centered episode, and
Yeah.
Chuti wasn't. The Doctor wasn't even in it. That's telling. I can't say that. I mean, even though Blink was one of the great episodes in the New Who era. There's a lot of other great episodes that are super heavy Doctor centered. So we need more time to get to know this Doctor before we can fall in love with him. I think it's too many assumptions that he's a Doctor, we just instantly love him. Yeah, Chuti's a magnetic, a charming guy, but it don't work like that. You know, only thing I can see is that they spend the budget, they spending some money, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
Mine is super quick. I mean, I think it's the changing of the times. Art reflects life. Life reflects art. Where we at the time when this was coming out, the LGBTQ plus community is making moves, making advances, and Doctor Who has the perfect format to include that in with the new Doctor. The Doctor just takes a vessel. You know, it doesn't matter what the vessel is, what the vessel looks like, whatever it is that's going on in their life. It embodies the vessel, and and then goes on adventures. I can understand why Doctor Who took that shot, and I think Chuti is a character of his time, and this is in this time now we're seeing some changes of just so recently on how people are picking up on it, whereas the previous Doctors were in a different time space where maybe those options weren't to be as easily and freely explored. So I think that the idea of Doctor Who remains the same. It's the constant with all of the Doctors. But now, because of the changing of the times, what's her name? Jodie Whittaker was another example of the changing of the times. And once again, it's a perfect vehicle to tell that story through the changing of the culture. So I think the basic idea of Doctor remains the same, but the lens of how those adventures are going through must change with the times.
Good answer. Anybody else? Sherelle, Sophie, Frank?
I think one thing worth mentioning when we talk about older seasons of Modern Who versus the most recent is just TV itself has changed. When Modern Who first came out, it was 2005. It was mostly UK focused, even though they had a big audience in Australia. They ignored that for the longest time. But it was mostly just focused on the UK audience. It was a public broadcasting show that everyone joined around, the whole family, every week to watch the latest episode. Now, though, we have more of a streaming focus where, I want to watch all 8 episodes right now. I don't want a bunch of filler. I just want this set right now, and then we'll wait for the next season. And so you can see that the format also changed more to fit into that streaming format for people who are just now finding the show for the first time, and they're not going to go back 15 seasons. They're just going to want to binge through this, and then they'll make up their mind of whether they want more or not.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. You think about next year will be 20 years of this New Who generation, but TV is not the same as it was 20 years ago. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Sherelle or Frank, do you have anything you want to add to this? Or
I guess just the obvious stuff like the production value has changed.
yeah,
I agree with that tremendously.
tremendously.
Yeah.
The thing with Doctor Who is it's always changing and always staying the same in a weird blend that's harmonious to me.
Yeah, I mean, we got big budgets, big money. Production costs are going down, but yet the way it looks and appears and sounds is getting better as well. It should this should feel a lot more cinematic. Like we're only, like I said, we're in season 7
Yeah.
of Who, and we go at lengths to talk about the score. The score feels cinematic. When we first got introduced, it felt like TV, and something is just one element changing that much changes the entire feel of how the show goes down. We've even talked about the costumes. Costumes have gotten better, like the alien in the rubber suit. It's different. It's a different type of immersion when you see somebody in the rubber fur suit and something that has been rendered with high quality. You're a lot more invested, and also spending money for even like changing locations. A lot of times we were shackled to the realms of only seeing the lens through the UK, whereas you can see it in practical terms and in different spaces, in different set pieces. So that goes a long way.
Okay. All right. So,
And with that in mind, Sherelle, if you didn't have any comments on this topic, I just want to point out to everyone listening that if you're not a part of the Discord, then you may not know that the boys have actually started Series 7. They're a couple of episodes in, which means the big one is coming up soon, the 50th. That's just going to come probably week after next. Maybe even sooner, depending on how much they're watching. So if you guys want to watch the 50th anniversary special live and the special episode that comes after that as well, then you can watch it live with them, or you can just catch the full reaction on Patreon. It's going to be a while longer until the cut down version is on YouTube. So if you want to be a part of that, then you have to head on over to Discord and join the Patreon, and then you'll be able to watch it along with everyone else.
Thank you. In case for the people that are in here. Oh, and Rakai, please tell me. I'm on autopilot right now. You pull my coattails and tell me slow down. We're having just a free for all. There is no central topic because there's just been a lot of television and shows. There's a lot of things that's been going on in the world. We're just curious what you all are thinking. How you feeling? What shows are you enjoying? What are you looking forward to? Any questions? This is definitely a full blown AMA. Ask us anything. And we will try to answer it to the best of our ability. And we have 3 members of the community for those that are just now joining. Local alien Frank, Sherelle, members of the community that we absolutely adore their opinions, and we think you will too. So it's just one big gigantic love fest, if you will.
I've got a question for Rakai.
Yes, ma'am.
But well, do you want to stay in good, lighthearted territory, or?
No, I mean it truly is. Ask me anything. So yeah, I'm good.
I asked him. I let people choose. I give them a choice. If they regret it afterwards, that's on them. But I do let people choose.
Woo! I need to get my water. I need to hydrate for this.
My question specifically for you, Rakai, I don't care about you, Sintel, is my question is, where were you 10 years ago, and where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Oh, is this okay? Let's see. How old am I again? Okay. 10 years ago.
We can cut you open and count your rings.
Well, that might be the only way to figure it out. Vintage as hell. 10 years ago, I was probably, it's funny, 10 years ago, I was in a downward spiral. I did not realize how depressed I was. And I would say probably during that particular period, probably the last decent year I had was 2015. Then everything was an absolute shit show after that. Um, yeah, I wasn't in a good place. I was in a profession. I was teaching, but I didn't plan to stay in teaching as long as I did. That was kind of something that just happened, but I was good at it and I did it, but that was not at all the trajectory I saw. And just professionally, I wasn't where I wanted to be doing what I wanted to do. My relationship was languishing and I wasn't really seeing it. And my just personal mental health was, spiraling. So to where I am today, I am not healed, but good, in a good place. The only thing I am is broke as hell. And that, you know, a divorce will do that to you. So divorce and 4 children do that to you. 10 years from now, where I want to be is retired. Like, I mean, I don't care who you are, what you're doing. Retired is a phantom word. It's not a real word. Nobody retires. Don't give a shit what you're doing. You got to pay bills. Bills have to be paid. Somebody, you answer to someone. You know, you say, I'm retired. I don't work no more. The power, the electricity bill still show up every month. You know, your cell phone bill still show up every month. You're still paying insurance on the car, you know, stuff like that. Still happens every month without change. But in 10 years, I would like to be doing exactly what I want to do, which at this point, I would think still online, creating content, talking about what I want to talk about, when I want to talk about it. Hopefully doing exactly what we're just talking about, where maybe I'm using this platform to create some of the stories that I want to create and employ some of the people that I see as dear to me and telling the stories that maybe as a community that we would like to see. But I would like to have a lot more control over my future and destiny and not have to worry as much about things getting taken or turned off. So I hope that answered the question. You got real quiet.
We were just letting you say your piece.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. So, I mean, if that was specifically for me or anybody else wants to chime in on that, I mean, if I need to get more specific or just.
Well, I guess the follow-up question is, what would you need in life? Like, at what point of accomplishment, achievement, possession would you feel like, all right, I'm good. I've done enough. I'm set.
That's actually a very good. It's a very good question because I think that is one of those things that, depending on where you are in your life, that goalpost continually moves. What I used to think, I'll be like, I'm good, I'm set. I don't think that anymore, especially as the economy continues to kind of tank. I used to think, I used to be one of those people, you get $1 million, you're good. And now I know, shit, I could spend $1 million in minutes. Like, 1 million? Now, I have enough sense to not spend 1 million in minutes, but I could. So how much money does one need to actually be self-sufficient? I heard a couple years ago that was like 7 million. If you had 7 million, you can kind of make your own way through this world. I don't know what the amount is, but I know that I am far less materialistic than I used to be. I honestly think that if I pulled in a few $100,000 a year, I would be good. And I don't need to have mansions. I don't need to have candy-coated helicopters and, different.
Helicopters.
Yeah,
That would just make all the bugs.
Yeah, it's just the hot boys got back together. It's popped in my head for some reason. Uh, I don't know. I think I would. I love to travel, so I think having a passport to get stamps or whatever your real ID to get out here in the world and be able to, with zero problem, zero worrying about bills, take my kids to other countries so they experience other cultures and see stuff. The world is too big for us to be trapped in the communities that we're in, and I do mean trapped, because the thing is, if you want to go somewhere, you should be able to get up and go, and none of us can really do that. That takes planning. That might take some time and some saving. And I don't want it to be like that. I just want to be able to get up and go somewhere. I mean, I ain't got to stay in a 5-star hotel and, ride around in Rolls Royce Phantoms while I'm there. But yeah, I want my kids to see Paris. I want my kids to go to London and maybe be able to, meet some of the wonderful Whovians over there that become part of our tribe since we've been doing this. I have always wanted to go to Dubai. I feel like I was one of the first people on to Dubai. And now, shit, I think every woman who's got a BBL done been to Dubai. I ain't been yet.
Is that all you need to do to get to Dubai? You just gotta.
Apparently, that's what Instagram says. Hell,
I'm not gonna insta-cake myself up to see the sands, but I'm gonna have to find another way to get there.
Calling all sugar mamas out there. I'm ready, baby. That's true. I think that's what I would like to. Like my daughter is completely, like, you talk about K-dramas. My daughter is so far gone on Korean way of life. She wants to go study abroad. Maybe in 2 years. My oldest son will be a senior next year, so she was going to go next year, but he doesn't want her to leave during his senior year of school. So when he leaves and goes to college, she wants to go study abroad for a year. So I might be losing 2 kids at the same time. But I'm okay that she wants to get out here in the world and see the world. So that is but that's a big thing for me, to get out here in the world and see the world. That's
you said something I thought was kind of interesting, that your daughter is really all into South Korean drama. I remember when K-pop music at first hit the scene. It's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I can't deny its influence. It's one of those things, like my eyes aren't lying to me, my ears aren't hearing me. Everybody's like really, really all into this. And I remember a community friend, Chuck, had said something to the effect of the South Koreans were spending an extraordinarily large amount of money into the entertainment industry as a way of generating like revenue. It was like it became like a part of like the national plan, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're going to fund the arts, their version of funding the arts. And then with the music took the world by storm, especially like even like 10 years ago. It just hit and it never really stopped. And now we're seeing kind of like that effect in movies and television. And I knew it was starting to get like really crazy when my mama bought a cookbook that focuses on the cuisines based off of K-drama shows. Like apparently that's like a thing, right? Like whatever the foods are, people go to the web and try to find out what the thing is that they're eating. And keep an eye, my mama was born in Panama City, Florida. She's been a Southern girl her whole life. Like she means soul food. Like it's just those two things aren't supposed to connect. You see what I'm saying? Like, but because of the influence that the culture and the art that's going on in South Korea has had, it's got this woman who I know and love experimenting and practicing pieces of the culture. I remember, and I'm not going to say remember, but there was a time when the United States used to be like dominant in that sentiment. Like nothing moved visually and even audibly that we didn't have like some type of influence on. And how would you feel regarding the world community as a whole taking that type of influence, at least seen through art, and then making that like the dominant conversation? Is that something that you might be a little concerned with, or something that you're welcoming?
I think, 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 I think For me, I'm not, but that I'm going to say that's me because I'm a military brat. I've already lived in other parts of the world. So I've had a chance to get out and experience other cultures and become fully ingratiated, like fully, you know, a part of those cultures. I mean, hell, I lived in Germany for 4 years. I spoke, read, wrote fluent German. Um, because that's what I thought you're supposed to do. Hell, I live in their country. I didn't start talking slower and louder. Do you understand? No, like, mm-mm. I live there. I speak what they speak. I understood the culture itself, and I think that that's what you should do when you visit the world. So, no, I understand that. I mean, to the funny thing is, unfortunately, because of my military service, I almost think that Korea, what they're doing is damn near a psyop.
Okay. Unfold that a little bit for those that may not understand what that means.
It's kind of like you said, the government itself funds K-pop and K-dramas and their entertainment and media is run by the government. Why would they do that? Why would it even be marketed towards America? The K-pop industry itself is old school R&B and boy bands and girl bands.
It is.
Why would the new NSYNCs and all that? You got your Blackpinks and your BTS and your Stray Kids and your P1 Harmony, and you see, I know these things because my daughter's so into it, and because I'm into what my children are into. I know the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, "Dad, have you heard the new?" "No, I haven't." "Put it on for me, baby. Put it on. Let's listen to it."
Yeah, let's see.
And some of it's good because it does remind me. I was like, "Oh, okay. This is 97 in sync. Got it. Okay." And that's what it reminds me of. But at the same time, if the number one thing that we value in America is media, we spend more money on entertainment than anybody in the world. Okay, well, how do you get into that market? You do the stuff that's almost nostalgia. You do the stuff that they into, and you market to them. Japan has done the same thing, and not only their music, because J-pop is a thing as well, but they've done it with anime. And it's kind of the same thing. It is taken over a particular corner of our world. And what better way to put yourself upon the people than becoming part of their everyday lives?
They say that manga sells faster than any other group of books in bookstores. Manga does. One of the fastest growing niches of television is anime. But for those who are Japanese, manhwa is kicking off on the scene. Art. I won't said it before. Art reflects life. Life reflects art. It feels like the art maybe dictating, changing life as well. I'm curious, especially you, local alien, and Frank and Sherelle. Did you have any thoughts regarding how art is changing culture, or vice versa?
Well, this whole conversation has a lot of different points that can be spun on, but one thing that is so interesting that governments still haven't actually realized this, because they're a bunch of old farts and they don't actually realize the power of fandom. They don't realize just how crazy and powerful fans of things can be, because if they realize this, they would be able to utilize it.
Right. But they do.
But
we just voted in an orange dude who realized that.
No, I mean like Harry Potter, My Little Pony, not like fans of people, but like actual fandom culture is so huge worldwide. I've heard so many people saying, "Yeah, I spent 12 years learning English in school and forgot everything until I started playing Paper Mario. And then I learned English in like 6 months so that I could communicate with other people to talk about this game because nobody plays it in my country." Or like, I learned English from reading fan fiction online so that I could have more more adult stuff to read because there wasn't enough in Portuguese or whatever. Or, I learned it from Harry Potter, or there's this YouTube, like some Mario like YouTuber people who were huge in like 2007 or something. So many people learned English from these guys just playing video games. And that's such a huge thing where, for as much as the US has tried to push English in other countries, the UK has done it as well, just simply having Harry Potter and video games and all this has done more. Call of Duty has done more to actually push that culture and language and all of that across the world effortlessly without even them trying to do it. And so sometimes you'll see, like, there's this famous story of someone who was fighting a war, and he was like, I really want to go to America. They asked him why. He said, because I want to try barbecue. That was his whole reason for wanting to become American, just to try barbecue.
It's worth a ticket. Yeah, it's worth a plane ticket.
Stuff like that. It's like, if governments were actually smart enough to really use that, they'd have an unstoppable force, because the lengths to which fans will go, like you've seen it in your own community, the Whovians in your community, they do some wild stuff completely for free in their own free time. People who have a strong, united passion for something that isn't even like important, they will go above and beyond.
You're absolutely right, and I think part of the problem is not that they, and I'm saying, facetiously, they. I don't think it's that they don't realize the power of fandoms. I think here in America, they realize the power of celebrity. So that's why they treat it a little bit differently, because they know that people are fans of celebrity, and we are the original celebrity stalkers, the celebrity, other words that I could use. And now we even go to the lengths of, hell, anybody can be a celebrity. In America, you can post something online and you're just looking for your viral moment. So even if you live in, BFE, somewhere out in the sticks, America, you get that viral moment. I have personally seen kids who live like a king for about a month because they had one post that went viral.
Sherelle, Frank, I was just curious. I want to make sure we're considering you in this conversation. Anything to add to this?
I don't have a whole lot to say. I enjoy witnessing any and all cultures, and I think it's beautiful that it gets shared online for multiple people to experience, for those that can't just outright up and leave and experience it for themselves.
I feel like we feel like it's new because it's new for America. But if you travel to other countries, even as a brown person, they don't automatically assume you're American. They ask you where you're from. Like in America, everybody assumes they already know about you. So when you go somewhere else, it's like in general, not in every single country, of course, but they're more open-minded into whatever it is that you are into. Because I've had situations where, you talk to people who aren't from where you are. When I was out, in Japan and other countries, and it's like they don't approach the things like new people the same way Americans do. Because it's kind of like America has it's getting better, but it's this whole of, like, you need to speak English, you need to be here, you need to do this. But in most other countries, like even their street signs are in multiple languages. So it's like I guess we're feeling like that in America, but the rest of the world's already kind of been like that. Like they may not be taking on the cultures as their own, like Americans tend to do when they like something, but they have kind of been putting their toes in all the waters and seeing what's out there before it became like a thing for America.
It's funny that you said that, Sherelle, because a friend of mine, he has been, basically because of his access to resources, he's been like a Republican all of his life, but he's very liberal. But I mean, and here recent years, he voted Democratic or whatever, but he's been a Republican his entire life. But what you just said is important. Where in other countries, and you're right. Like I remember living in Germany, when I went to France, when I went to Italy, a lot of signs, everything were in multiple languages because they understood the flow, the amount of people coming through there from different places. And we just want to make sure that you understand. So if you have to read in German, you got to read in English, you got to read in French, you got to read it in Italian, whatever. We want to make sure you understand. Hopefully one of those should work for you. But he said that he is a teacher and his school is just for some reason this year has been kind of dumped on, and they have flooded his school with immigrant children, most of them Spanish speaking, and a good majority of them allegedly non-English speaking. And so they've started putting up signs in at least English and Spanish all over the school. And this guy who claims, he's the most, liberal guy in the world, he absolutely hates it. He can't stand it. And that's one of those things that, you're talking about the dog whistle culture in politics right now, where that's why it speaks to people and why we're having a huge shift in this country because of stuff like that. I think for a country that is allegedly the melting pot of the world, we're not that fully evolved when it comes to actually being accepting of people in other cultures and in other walks of life. And it's weird to me. But I think part of that is because of my military upbringing that I don't see it the way that other people see it. So,
because I mean, it's one of those things that I realized when you're first learning your language, a lot of, for most people that aren't like, fluent or didn't grow up with languages, it's almost embarrassing, to say it because you don't want to say it wrong. But in other countries, like they're just proud that you even tried. But here, someone's English is broken and you're like, you don't know how to speak English. But it's like they are trying.
Very true.
So why is it that other countries all over the world are like, hey, you tried to learn our language. Like we might correct you, we might even giggle, but like, dude, you tried. We are proud. And America's like, well, you're not perfect, so you don't count. And that's one of the problems.
How dare you? You don't speak American?
It's like, and that's one of the problems I have.
When is that a language? Okay.
So there was a super chat in which someone asked a question for the two of you. They would like to know, which of the following foods do you prefer? Sashimi, either cooked or raw, onigiri, or kimchi?
I'll answer first. I haven't had onigiri. If I have, I didn't know that I was eating it. Kimchi to me is kind of like the equivalent of eating chitlins. The smell can be a little jarring. But the taste, I will say the taste is different than eating chitlins, but it's difficult because I'm culturally not used to that. I'm not trying to insult anybody's food, let me be clear, but it's jarring to me. So I can't really rock with it. But I do love sashimi. So I'm gonna have to go with sashimi on that one. I'm curious what everybody else thinks.
I can answer. Never had any of those. Yeah, I would love to say that I'm a foodie, but I'm not. That's not, that would not be true because I'm a very picky eater. So I like what I like. And even though I can be adventurous, I guess, at times, I've heard of sashimi, never had it. Like, to be honest, I've never had sushi. Just because the whole thought of having fish raw, you didn't put no heat on that. You didn't even, you know what I'm saying? Like a hair dryer, you didn't put no fire on that. No, bro. You gotta put some fire on that. Maybe put it in a nice batter or something. Like I just.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. My first time eating it, I was drunk the very first time I had it because I had the same idea. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna eat raw fish. And it was a production party after we got done working, and I was faded, and I had it, and I loved it. So I took the leap, but I can't lie to be intoxicated to take the leap.
You know, the sad thing is, the last time I got really adventurous, I was also intoxicated, and that was a long. No, it wasn't a long time ago. I take that back. It was
Yeah,
2018.
he was like, come on, you know, it's a couple months
It's
ago.
2018. It was 2018. I was at I was with Chuck, so that explains a lot right there. I was in San Jose. I was at the Oculus 5, where they had a Facebook had actually just bought out Oculus. So before it became MetaQuest, it was still Oculus, and they were having the big conference in San Jose talking about all the new stuff for the Oculus MetaQuest, and they had this reception that was about how could you use VR in education. And I just got out of teaching, but I didn't know if I was going to still stay in that framework. I was going to go do something different in education. And they had what are those things? It's not oysters. What's the other ones?
Clams?
No, that don't sound right. It was something on a shell. It wasn't.
Oysters?
No, it wasn't oysters.
Escargot?
No, it definitely was not snails. I actually had that when I lived in Germany. I had that. We were in France, and somebody gave it to me, and mussels. Thank you, HT Teddy.
Oh, there we go.
That's what it was. It was mussels. Thank you. I never had mussels, and I was like, "Are these oysters?" They're like, "No, these are mussels," and they were like baked on the shell with like sausage and the cheese on them. Well, I was like, well, hell, I like sausage and I like cheese. I was like, and I was faded anyway. I was like, well, hell, I'll give it a go. And I had it, and I was like, damn, this is kind of good. Probably because they were free as well. Like, I can't imagine spending money. You know what I'm
Those
saying?
make things
Like,
taste better.
yeah, that's like, what I'm saying? People, like, you go out to a bar and you eat sushi. Like, to me, I will never have sushi until I go someplace and I can try it for free. I'm not paying all that money for some shit I'm about to throw up. No,
straight to throwing it up, word.
No, I'm just the thought it would be a lot, and I would probably have to be faded, which I haven't drank anything. What I'm saying, with the kids around all the time, I don't drink anymore for real. So I can't imagine. I've been around kimchi when Chuck got married.
It's
way back in his wife and her family, they were Chinese. And so they had a number of traditional Chinese dishes at the house, and they had one that made kimchi look like steak. It was something. It was something else. It's a traditional Chinese, and Chuck would tell you right off the bat. I can't remember what the name of it was. It wasn't kimchi, but it's something that the smell of it made my fist ball up automatically, and I was like, "What the shit? You expect me to put that in my mouth?" Like it made chitlins seem like the delicacy. Like I was like, hell. Yeah, like it smelled so bad. Chitlins at that point would have been a Krispy Kreme donuts. Hell no. Nope. Not for me.
I appreciate that question. Yo, good looking out.
On
life, Jolly.
continuing the topic of food, do you gentlemen cook?
I mean, I won't starve.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good enough for me to eat.
I will say yes and no. I cook, but that was a condition of my surrender. Yeah, once I became divorced, I was on my own. And the thing was, I never really cooked. I was a on the go person. So I ate a lot of sandwiches, a lot of burgers, probably more fast food than I should have. I ate a lot of bullshit. And then when I got married, my ex-wife, she is such an excellent damn cook. Listen, when it came to the kitchen, you got that. Just listen, tell me when to show up and what, where and what time. I'm at the table, fork and knife. Yes, dear. Whatever. But then when we got divorced, shit, I had to fend for myself, and it got rough in these streets and shit. I'm out here stabbing cats, you know what I'm saying? I was just out here, you know, like eating like prison food, just guard my food and shit and get away, you know. So I learned to do a bit more. I could grill. I've always been able to grill. But, you know, you can't just, you know, go out and start barbecuing in December in Kentucky. Hell no. So, I mean, you could.
Yeah, you can.
You can. You absolutely can. But
people are going to show up one way or the other.
They will. And, you know, especially the right thing. I have a little girl right now that's one of my daughter's best friends that she be on me every time I see her. She cheerleads with my daughter, and every time I see her, she just told me the other day her birthday's come up this month, and she's like, you know what would be really good is, you remember that time that you had the steaks wrapped in bacon? Like, could you make that for my birthday? I was like, I'd be like, hell no. You know how much that costs? Nah. We pour out here. I'll wrap your ramen noodles in some bacon. You get the hell out of my face. Like,
you can have some bacon bits.
Yeah, wrap it in bacos.
You know, bacon is sacred food. Like, there'll be no disrespect to bacon over here.
Yes. Hey, you know, just not that long ago, I had was it pork belly? I didn't even know that and bacon was in the same family. Like, I didn't know they was cousins or little brothers or whatever. Like, I was like, oh.
Yeah, they grew up together.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was like,
they play Little League together. That's how close they are. Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. It ain't bacon. It was nice.
No, but it's good. It's good enough though. Yeah. I feel that.
I'm no bacon expert, but like, I know there's a difference between where the bacon is taken in different countries. I think we take ours off the back, or the UK does. And like the other country takes it more off the rear end. But it's why there's like a difference in like the thickness in different countries.
I like my bacon like I like my ladies, thick. Give me that ass. It's a preference. My bacon is a preference.
Hell no. You gotta love life. Oh my God. Hell no. But you know what?
Well, now we know those preferences.
Guess what? I co-sign that sentiment. Running back. Hell yeah. Listen, I don't to be honest with you, Sophie, I don't know. When I don't ask a lot of questions on my food. I probably should, but listen, bacon is bacon. As long as you're not giving me turkey bacon, or you're not giving me some vegan kind of bacon, bacon is bacon. I'll eat beef bacon, but pork bacon is where it's at. That can be the only pork I eat. I don't have to eat I don't got to eat ham. I got to eat nothing else. But yeah, bacon, that's the one. I'm not giving that one up. I don't give it. World comes to the end, I'm gonna eat a bacon sandwich or something. I don't give a shit.
No, see, that's kind of the opposite for me, where bacon's okay. I'll throw it on a cheeseburger, but give me ham, give me pork chops, give me pulled pork sandwiches.
I'm with you, Rakai, because in England they have what's called a bacon sarnie or a bacon buddy. It's literally just a bacon sandwich, like just bacon.
My heart just skipped a beat. I can't believe Sophie said that. I felt wounded. I felt like personally just like attacked. Oh my God. I mean, I've heard that there were people out there like that, but I never met one before. Oh my God. Oh.
I'm not saying I don't like it. Like, yeah, if I've got a cheeseburger and it doesn't cost too much more to throw some bacon on there, all right. But if you're saying it's going to be $1.50 for 2 slices, no, I'm good.
Listen, I feel you, because to me, a perfect burger has bacon on it. But I also am very cost conscious now because I'm broke. So I was like, hold on, how much is the... y'all overcharging for that bacon, especially when they make that old flimsy bacon. And I was like, this is rubber. Yeah. Don't do
it. All over the place.
Yeah. No, I like crispy bacon. Not burnt. Close, but I like my bacon crispy. Oh, I cannot believe it. I don't know where they get the bacon from. I don't ask a whole lot of questions of what, how it goes down. So I just show up to Kroger's and you know, show up to Walmart or whatever, Aldi's, wherever you shop, and get it.
And around these parts, I know bacon was expensive for a while, but now you can get like a good pound for like $2 if you get it at the right store at the right time. Like every week, I see the store near me has bacon on sale, and I look at it. The other day, it was like $1 something for a whole pack of bacon, and I looked at it, and I was like,
A
no, I'm
dollar
not gonna
something?
eat that.
Where you live?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what I'm
saying,
saying. Like,
I'm
you
gonna
know
need
that's
you to.
bacon?
I'm gonna need you to drop.
Maybe like,
I don't need to know your address, but I'm gonna need to know the address of that store. Drop that
maybe
in the
like,
Okay, 'cause
chat.
I'm gonna need them to
It's
have
IGA.
bacon
stuff.
like Hitler's. Like,
What the hell?
Yeah, they were like, we're just gonna have this on sale for like $1 or something. The week before, it was like $2.68, and then after that
Yeah.
week, it went back to 2 something. And like, this is really good price, but I just don't care about bacon enough to get that.
Ooh, look there.
Gotta
That's
make people
letting a
flatter where
good
you at.
thing go. Yeah, like that. I am gonna have to
I
check the
wouldn't survive
expiration
without
date
bacon.
though.
He wants a bacon,
I
egg, and
know.
cheese sandwich almost every day. So like he wouldn't even live if there was no bacon.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
a,
true.
a pound of bacon for $2. That's like,
Shit.
listen, Sophie. For nothing else, you should have bought all of that. Had you
Just
the
to
plug?
resell
You
it.
should
Yeah, I
sold
was
that
about to
like
say.
dope.
Yeah. That's somebody on the block. Should
Could
be
have
like,
been out
yo,
here. You know what I'm saying?
yo, I got that extra thick hickory. What you want? What you want? What you want?
Yeah, yeah. Sophie Franklin Saint, you be out here selling that on the block.
Yo, to change the directions real quick, then we hop right back into it. Big shout out to Lottie Langston. Thank you for the comment. Said any plans on future shows to watch? Rakai, any like spoilers you want to release? Any one?
Well, yes.
Any one? Yeah,
One that y'all need to know about. As a matter of fact, since it's a live, show up tomorrow on Centel's channel to catch this wonderful reaction so far. I'm not even going to tell you how far we in. I'm not even going to tell you. Listen, talking about the plug, Centel is that dude. He got the plug. Yes. Spoilers. We have already watched few episodes of season 2 of Arcane. We couldn't do it on the Discord because we got, kind of embargoes. Yeah, we have them black vans show up for us. But listen, and I'm just saying where we're at so far, if you thought season 1 of Arcane was good, my God, like I'm already writing down what categories they should get Emmys in. My God. And not only that, the beauty of it is the reaction is Centel, myself, and MC. Listen, you got a 3-fer. I don't even know if that's a word, but you got, hey, man.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. It's dope. And Rakai, you sent me an interesting. No, I think I sent it to you actually. There was an interesting tweet that went out regarding Arcane. It is officially the most expensive animated series of all time. I think that's what it was. Let me see. I gotta actually go to my.
Yes, that is true. It came in. It is the most expensive animated project of all time at $250 million. That is for season 1 and season 2. And here is the thing. I knew that, but I didn't tell you.
Oh yeah, you wanted to sway because you saw how I felt about how I felt about Rings of Power. Because once you get the price tag, there comes expectations, right? Yeah, exactly. I would have enjoyed Rings of Power considerably more had I not known that it was the most expensive series of all time. And then you see it, and it's like it's not worth that price point.
Well,
it'll change how you feel.
I can't say if Arcane is worth that price point or not because I don't know what these sort of things cost. I know there's a lot of people that go into it, and it's not like you just sit down and draw out a cartoon at your desk in your house. So I know there's a lot that goes into this, and quite honestly, the artwork that they have put on display in at least Arcane, it might be worth that. It might be worth that. I don't know what it takes to recoup that money and make a profit on it, but listen, they have made some real art, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and to in case y'all might not have known, I've said publicly the Arcane season 1. If you haven't seen it, I've said publicly that I think Arcane is a top 3 greatest animated series of all time. I think it's that good. It's top 3. You know, I don't know where in the top 3, but for me personally, if you haven't seen it.
Well, what are the other 2?
Of course, Avatar, the late 90s version, just because of story. Yeah, because of story.
2005 version?
Was it 2005?
Yes.
I guess it was. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes, late 90s and early 2000s blend for me.
See how that vintage just showed up in you? I know. Like, boy, we used to walk to school uphill.
And also because I'm a filthy shonen bro, as what Sophie his dually described me as.
Both of you, yes.
Yeah, the one of the very first animated series that really stuck with me was DBZ. I'm a filthy shonen bro, so it's arguably one of my favorite. The Z series, not Super and GT and all of that. The very first one, because I have an emotional connection with that. But Arcane is up there. It's that good.
I could agree on Arcane, and I've never really even thought about like top.
X-Men 97 is really climbing up there though. X-Men 97 is phenomenal.
X-Men 97 is
phenomenal.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's something about nostalgia too, and some of those things that you got your first on. Because to me, it always, even though I'm a super fan of Robotech, it's not in my top 3. But one of the greatest animes that I absolutely love, they're thinking about redoing it right now, is Fist of the North Star. So
yeah, but that's not a series. That's a movie. Actually, it was a series though, wasn't it?
It was a series. So
they did do
I did watch the movie.
On.
I did watch the movie first, and I'm talking about the movie, not the series. The series was good, but I thought the movie was great.
The video game is fantastic.
I never played the game, but I have heard about it.
I never did either.
Yeah,
and I don't know what else I would put up there. I mean, Avatar: The Last Airbender is in my top animated properties, but it's not an anime, so I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand that too. So yeah, that's a quick little.
She said, "You filthy shonen, bro."
Filthy shonen. I could see her lips curling as she said it too.
Just dripping with disdain, filthy shonen, bro.
Well, bouncing off of that question, both of your channels, what else can people look forward to in the near future that maybe isn't particularly reaction content, movies, or TV?
Should we talk about our idea?
I said for both of your channels, either one.
Yeah.
So we have and I guess this really is going to affect both of our channels. I think as of right now, I think it's going to show up on my channel. We've been kicking around the idea just to do something that's more along the vein of what we're doing right now. And we just have certain topics where Centel and I will riff on the topic for a few things and just kind of throw out a list of, favorite characters here, or a character that you see that would do this thing or not do that thing or whatever. So, and it'll be more comedy based. And I don't want to say comedy because not like either of us are comedians, but it just, us just
more lighthearted,
kind of, lighthearted and just talking shit, and just whatever, and just to see what people think. And, maybe we're filthy shonen bros or, whatever, and just a couple of dumbasses or whatever. I don't know, So yeah, we have a number of ideas on that, and we haven't shot any of those yet. So that's coming up soon. We still, to this day too, we are talking about going more into movies. So that has always been a thing. So as much as we are going to continue Doctor Who, of course.
Yep.
We're just about finished with Sherlock.
Yep.
We are just about finished with at least season 1 of Game of Thrones, and we'll reevaluate and see, if we even continue down that path. The timing may be wrong for that, but there's so much great stuff out there. And we've talked even on the Discord and on Centel's Patreon. We talked about some of the great movies that some of us have never seen. Like we're talking about doing a classic series, what you would consider.
Don't say just yet because I don't want anybody stealing. Don't say the movies.
Yeah.
Just I don't want anybody stealing just yet.
I wasn't going to say.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, we're talking about covering some of the classics that neither of us have seen, but. You can go through the list of classic movies and be like, people say these are some of the greatest movies of all time. We ain't seen them. So, we have Donnie Ellick is asking, saying, are we, going to include games in that?
Yes. And hopefully we're going to get some help from the community to kind of like see how that looks. We've had our mods in our ear, really trying to push the narratives, and thank you. Shout out to Sophie. It's over here. She's been pretty well, at least in the past. She was pretty vigilant, being like, "Yo, you gotta hop on it." It is going to happen.
You're making it sound like I just slacked off. Like, geez.
No, I'm saying it as a compliment. Like y'all need to come on, put some fire under your ass, and let's kind of get this thing going, because the community. I believe that the Discord is just a great thriving place, and we need to have more things that are interactive in that space. So we're just trying to figure out the scheduling is the big thing, is the scheduling. But yes, gaming is absolutely going to happen. I can say that it's absolutely going to happen. We're just working on the timing and how that looks so that it can really be community based. Because don't get me wrong, I think y'all would want to be a part of the gaming process instead of necessarily just watching us play games.
And we've had a couple of different issues because we talk about, there's only so much time in a day and only so many resources that we have to work with. And so a lot of things too, especially y'all know for yourselves how funny, how finicky the algorithms are. And we throw out stuff out there that we think should fare well. And it doesn't fare that well because the algorithm is like, yeah, that's not something that y'all normally do, so we're not going to share it with nobody. And we'll be like, hey, did you see when we did that? They're like, no, I never knew that y'all did that. Like, damn, for real? So we also understand, too, that part of working in this space means that we have to navigate the space the way that we have to navigate it. And some of the things we've thrown out was like, for instance, anime. We both love anime.
Yeah.
You haven't seen really any anime reactions because the algorithm would be like, ha, I spit on that.
Off with his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, anime is very challenging. It's not impossible. It is very challenging to get into without there being some kind of repercussions. It's
not only that, when dealing with a lot of international content, there's some different rules as opposed to some of the content that we already deal with. There's
big facts.
I mean, Centel has a whole another channel, if y'all were not aware, called Cinema Mosaic, that is all foreign. At this point, right now, it's all South Korean, but it is for that very reason, because there's a different set of rules that you operate when you operate in that space. So yeah, and right now we're just not, we don't have the bandwidth to start whole other channels for other stuff. Just can't do it. But
it's not that we don't want to, it's just it's a challenge. It doesn't come from the space that don't want to, though.
Yeah, and just to be fair, like Dingus says that, he's seen Edge Runners.
Edge Runners is awesome.
Edge Runners.
Yes, it is really good.
But to be fair, Cyberpunk Edge Runners was an original project on Netflix.
Yeah.
So it is not governed by the same rules.
Yes.
And the crazy thing about Edge Runners was so good that it made me go back and play Cyberpunk 2077. Like, it made me go back and play the game.
Big facts. I got like a quarter of the way through and then put it down because I was like, I think I've had enough. And then I saw the series and I was like, oh, I ain't had enough. I need to. Yeah, that was probably one of the best pieces of marketing material I've seen for a video game in quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyberpunk was dope.
Yeah, I don't see why they didn't do much, and I think they just thought that they could ride the celebrity of Keanu Reeves to do the DLC that they had or whatever. But
yeah, but then they brought in Idris Elba too. They're trying.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Jay Tanner said, "I react to One Piece live series. You will love it." Yeah, I hate that we had missed the boat on that. Who knows? I'm not saying we won't revisit it.
We did.
Well, Having another season.
Yeah, I mean they have to. That one is that the fandom behind that alone. Even if the series was bad, I think the fandom alone would still make that show a success. And the show was good. Fortunately, the show was good.
Yeah, the show was
Surprisingly
really
good. Yeah.
show was actually really good, and it gave a lot of hope to doing live action versions of anime properties. And it actually lit a fire under because it came out before Netflix's Avatar did, and it was like, oh, shit, don't mess this up. Which I thought that Netflix's live action Avatar was good as well.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
better than expected.
If you want to see, we did a review of One Piece, the live action series on Bingeworthy. So that is available for you to, if you go to the Geekish Network, you can find it. However, if you have not seen it, the way we used to do Bingeworthy, this may not be the thing you want to watch because we are very spoiler heavy. We are not anymore. We are on the Bingeworthy. We are non-spoiler now, but at the time we did that, it's all types of spoilers in that. That is a spoiler show.
Ruin your day.
Like, well, I don't need to see it no more. You see this right here?
Yep. For that
Yes,
question, if you're not aware, they're actually watching it along with the community in the Discord. So if you're interested in Agatha All Along or anything within that franchise, they've been doing live reactions to it along with the community this past week or so.
Tons of fun. Once again, I think one of the great things about our channel is that our community reactions really change how we watch some of these reactions. So it's another great thing about being in the Discord or a Patreon member, because you all have an influence on how we see some of the stuff, because we read some of the questions as we're watching, we'll toss it back and forth, and you all can help change the insight on how we go about some of these things. And in some occasions, we've been testing it. We'll actually have the community on, and you will hear your voice if that's what you want. To be a part of the conversation. And if you've ever wanted to be on a reaction channel, being a part of the community is probably one of the easiest ways of doing it without editing yourself and getting cameras and lights and all that other stuff. You just want to see what it's like. Yeah, that's a good way. We'll put you on stage and you can watch with us. But that is for Patreon members.
They will throw you in the water. They will just be like, hey, here you go.
Yes, Intel will make sure it's last minute too.
But it's live. That's why you never know what you're going to get. That's why you show up.
But even outside of that, sometimes you'll see other people playing things. For instance, the other day, Chuck, who you guys may have seen in some of the movie reactions, was doing an anime marathon for so long he fell asleep and Spy Family was still playing.
I've seen it.
Yeah, he fell asleep, then he woke up, and we talked for like an hour, and then he fell asleep again. Sometimes Sintel puts something on while he's editing. For instance, one night he told us he was just going to put on something lighthearted just to have in the background, and it turned out to be Grave of the Fireflies.
Grave of the Fireflies? Why did I do that? Y'all trying to warn Sophie did try to warn me. She was saying,
really? Rikai, really? You haven't seen it? No, I would have figured it's like right up your alley. It's a World War II anime movie.
Really?
Man.
It's partially based on a true story.
Crazy thing is, I actually don't. A lot of war flicks, I don't watch them. I don't like. And it's not that I don't like them. I just don't watch them. And I think for me, it's different. When you've gone to war and experienced war, I don't want to watch movies about this shit. I don't respect that. I'm good. I
respect that.
Even though I will say Band of Brothers is one of the greatest series.
Woo! I think Band of Brothers is Steven Spielberg's best project. I know he only produced it, but I think best project bar none is Band of the first one. The first one. I ain't talking about the Pacific. The very
No,
first
the
season.
Pacific, and then what was the one they just did? Was that Masters of the Air? And when that?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
But the very first one, I mean, it's peak Spielberg, peak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, and while we're plugging the Discord, for the Whovians here, I'm sure you see a Frank here on the screen. He's also been playing stuff in the Discord, such as the audio dramas. So if you've ever wanted to listen to Big Finish, but you just didn't have the money, or you're like, I'm not super into audios, I'm not sure if I would want to watch it on my own, he's been playing that in the Discord, and he has access to all of them, including the ones for other properties in the Doctor Who sphere that they have not yet seen. He's also been playing on his own some of those other properties as well. And one other person who's in the chat right now, Dingus, he's been playing some Classic Who as well.
Oh, and please, Sophie. I know you had a you had a cool little run with some anime as well. Your anime corner. I don't know if that's still going, but I did want to at least plug the fact that you had that in this space. What were you watching again?
We watched Death Parade, but anyone else is free to do anime nights. But like I axed that, like I put the axe on that like 2 weeks ago.
I know, but it was still interesting. I wasn't expecting Death Parade to be what it was, so I wouldn't have watched it if you wouldn't have brought it to me. So I did watch a couple.
Yeah, because people voted for some typical shonen cowboy bebop, and then nobody showed up, and so I'm like, nah, listen, I know what y'all want to watch. Okay, here's some Death Parade.
Hear that? She said, I know exactly what y'all want. You better listen to me.
And Frank, was I mistaken?
Absolutely not. And I knew Cowboy Bebop was going to flop as well.
Yeah, people wanted to vote
what did
for
y'all
it.
watch instead of Cowboy Bebop?
Death Parade came out in 2015.
Parade. I think I've heard of that, but I've never seen it. I'm actually not a fan of Cowboy Bebop anyway, so.
It was.
We did also watch. Well, we started off with Your Name, the movie. Because there was someone in the community who hadn't experienced anime, so we decided to make that, his first experience with anime.
Okay.
Yeah. So far, our anime heads in here, we're not avoiding it on the main channel. Excuse me, we are avoiding it on the main channel, but we're embracing it in the Discord. So if anime is your thing,
and there's always a chance that even if something doesn't go up on the channel, it could still go up on the Patreon.
It's very true.
Yep.
What y'all just said.
Kind of like Agatha.
Agatha's great. And Agatha, for our Patreon members, it's on there in case you missed it.
Yeah, Agatha's going up on a Patreon, but Agatha will not be going up on the YouTube.
No, it's a Patreon exclusive. Yeah, Agatha is. And tentatively, Penguin is well. It's going to be a Patreon exclusive. We haven't started counting it though.
Frank, there's a question for you in the chat.
Oh, I don't have the chat open right now.
Donnie is asking, how much of the Big Finish audios do you own?
All the current ones.
Oh, you said all the current ones. Okay.
And the spin-offs as well.
Yeah, I have everything that's currently out.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, Frank is connect on that.
I've been stockpiling for years.
And you have like the actual physical copies, right?
No, the digital.
Okay.
If you had the physicals, but you might need to put those in a vault, because since physical media is dying, that's a whole other conversation that we could have about the death of physical media, and maybe actually the revitalization of physical media. If y'all have any old DVDs, especially Blu-rays, especially VHS tapes, do not throw them away, even if they're blanks. Even save blanks if you have. Because the price on those are about to really start skyrocketing. In case you didn't know, they are no longer making VCRs, and they're no longer making VCR parts. So you can go on like eBay right now, and that same VCR, like back in 2005 that you saw at a Winn-Dixie or a Kroger's or Publix, whatever your supermarket is, for like, $30, that same VCR is like $300. And they're only increasing because nobody has any incentive to create parts. And people that do repairs on VCRs are actually buying up a lot of the old stock to cannibalize to use 4 parts for VCR repair, and now the VCR repair costs are like, I think it went up like 300-400% or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you are fortunate enough to have a VCR, keep it, and don't give away any movies, because it's the true vintage feel. It's the new record, right? You know, where you can hear the fuzz on the record. Yeah, new vinyl. Well, on VCRs, you're going to see all of the static that's on the screen. That adds to the edge. And if you have blanks, which are finite now, it's kind of like Kodak film almost. To be able to recreate that on a blank is considered a difficult thing to find now. So all your old hits, talk to your grandma or your old aunties and uncles that still got them, and blow the dust off of them. So yeah, physical media, it's keep it if you can.
While we're still kind of on the cusp of the same topic, I just wanted to put it out there. Lately, I've been a little busy, so I haven't taken the initiative to play any audios. But if at any point you guys want an audio and there's none playing, just hit me up and I'll put something on for you, even if I'm too busy to pay attention to it myself.
Yeah, he's doing that specifically for you. When's the last time your significant other did something like that?
My baby ain't never played me no Who audios. Hey, man! What's going on?
He probably doesn't own any, it's probably why.
I know. Let me chill out before you go over here and knock on this door. I get in trouble. See me get in trouble on live, I'll be mad. Hey, Rakai, I just want to give you a heads up. We're an hour and a half in. I know you always want me to give you those time checks and see how you feel.
I do, and even though this is going great, I do have a bunch of stuff that I really kind of need to get into. But I've enjoyed this, not the pressure of not having the pressure of trying to deliver. As a matter of fact, I got to film like 3 or 4 deep dives now as it is, so I'm behind.
Okay, so this is great. 90 minutes, 90-minute workout.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that about VCR players, which it makes absolute sense. I lost I had thousands of pieces of physical media, and it was all my storage locker I had was broken into and everything's gone. So that gives me a point of particular sadness, because I had so much. DVDs are gonna be on their way next.
Yeah, but as long as there's a PlayStation, we'll have a DVD player. I don't know anybody that owns a DVD player anymore. I know a bunch of folks that own PlayStations and Xboxes.
But the solo DVD players or Blu-ray players, I don't know anyone who has one. They probably go over to your grandmama's house or someone. She might still have one. Or she'll have the one that's got the DVD player and the VHS player on it.
Your grandma was doing big things then.
I have that.
Oh, no. That was given to her, but it just sits on top of the TV. I don't think she's ever, or when she was alive, I don't think she had ever used it. And I can guarantee you, if I went in that house right now today, the time on the clock is wrong. So guarantee it.
Yo, my uncle had one. He had an old VHS one, man, with the one where the tape used to pop up at the top.
Oh,
yeah, that joint. And he used to have it upside down because whatever the mechanism that held it down didn't work anymore. Mm-hmm. So he always had his VCR upside down in order for it to play. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, look, this is how old this VCR was. It had a cord, it had a remote, but it was a remote with a wire that connected to the actual VCR, and it was a corded remote control, because at that time when it was, regular remotes weren't a thing. That's how old that joint is.
Mm-hmm.
And it still works. It still works. All right. Any closing thoughts? Because I know we're wrapping this bad boy out. I'm gonna go ahead and step off the stage, Nuke, because this is your show.
It's our show, sir. But thank you for that. I do want to say thank you to Sherelle, Frank, and Sophie, the local alien.
Oh, my bad. That was loud.
It was something.
Going for a while.
It was something, but it's just one of those things that too is like, you know what? I need some sound effects. That was all right.
It worked.
Need some sound effects. I'm over here. I'm so broke. I'm just doing with my mouth.
Ghetto graduation style.
See, you try to show me up, right? You're like, oh, y'all don't want to hear that little broke shit. Just hear the real shit. Hold on, let me hit a button. Okay. I couldn't even have that. I couldn't even have that.
If it makes you feel better, I prefer yours.
All right. Again, I will give, as always, shameless plugs. You really are missing out on something great, though. The community that we are building in the Discord. You should be a part of the Discord because, as Centel has made it so abundantly clear, it has his name on it, but it's not about him. It is about the community. And that is a hard thing for all of us to come to grips with. Because like, the hell you mean it's not about you? It's got your damn name on it, man.
We're talking about it. We're talking about it. Changes are coming. Make no mistake, though. That's a fact.
But that to be said, just like Sophie, just like a Frank, just like myself, we do have a space within that community, within the Discord, that we can carve out for ourselves and be ourselves. Because, you know, whether y'all know this or not, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of logistics in being a reactor and being a content creator. And Centel handles that like a champ. I'm still a little bit discombobulated. I'm struggling to do what I do on a daily basis and get it done and out to you in a timely manner. So a lot of that stuff on the back end, I don't mind not having my own Discord right now. So it's too much shit for me I can't focus. I can't. So I get to show up in the Centel server and do what I do and not have the pressure of doing it. And maybe if that's a thing for you, to be around other people that are kind of like-minded in some ways, when you're not a filthy shonen bro, I want to invite you to the Centel server. As well as you hear, there's a lot of stuff that you can become a part of if you're a part of Centel's Patreon. If you're a part of my Patreon, I welcome it. I'm working on getting the value there and stuff for you guys to see that there's a reason for you to pay for this content every month. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. And people like Sophie and Centel and Ariel are helping me. So I'm building. So again, thank y'all for coming out. Definitely, you got to pop in and see a Frank in the Discord, see Sophie in the Discord. She's got a podcast. She's got something that's coming soon. Yes. I'm not going to steal her thunder, but she's got something that's coming soon that I think you guys will really enjoy. And myself and Centel, we have a lot more stuff coming down the road. So we may get back to our regularly scheduled programming next week, but this week, this was fun. And again, I thank all of y'all. And I didn't do it because we had to jump right out of our what we were doing in Discord to come over here. It's all right, because it's all about this, but it's got to have a lot of this. All right. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see y'all next week. Thank you, Chef. And thank you, all the chefs in here. Whether you get your bacon from the butt or the belly.
I like my bacon caked up.
You know what? I ain't mad at that. When it comes to bacon, it can have a BBL. I don't like it in real life, but bacon, yeah. See y'all. Y'all wow. That just make me sad.